Let's speak to Tshivhengwa, who is the CEO of the Tourism Business Council of South Africa. Mr. Tshivhengwa, thank you for being with us as always. A question we posed to the Premier was about tourism because he said KwaZulu-Natal is ready to welcome tourists over this Easter weekend. However, we know that there are safety concerns, damaged infrastructure, congestion with people going in, and more rain, more potential devastating flooding to come. Do you believe that's a responsible call?
Well, first of all, I would like to say that, condolences to the families that have lost their loved ones during this crisis. And we do hope that, they find comfort in the fact that, all of us in South Africa are behind them and we're praying for them. From the tourism point of view, I do believe that, we as a hospitality sector, we do subscribe to what government is saying in terms of what is the situation on the ground. What we have seen is that, there's a lot of people that have canceled their bookings towards, their holidays in KZN. And also, we do anticipate that there may be last-minute bookings for those that are traveling towards KZN. But the situation that we've seen is what the Premier have said in terms of the water. We do believe that, we need to conserve water. We need to make sure that, our guests in our hotels are able to, utilize, the facilities that we have in a responsible way and conserve water, especially clean water that, the fact that Umgeni, may be struggling to pump enough water into the area is a concern. But we do, hope that, the situation is worked on quite fast and is resolved quite fast. But we are open for business. As a tourism industry, hotels are functional and they're operational. There are many people that even insurance companies are, putting in our establishments, those that have their homes that are damaged. So we can't afford to be closed or to not do what we do best. So we are open, we are receiving guests. We do know the challenges that are there on the ground, from water to bridges and roads to the fact that the beaches needs to be cleaned up. But we need to continue, we need to support, KZN, we need to make sure that those that are affected, do receive some relief, and our properties are open for everyone that wants to come in. So it is a situation that requires all of us to hold hands together to ensure that, we progress the recovery of the tourism industry, and we go to places where, things are still happening in support of the tourism industry. And we thank South Africans for that, for really, taking up the challenge and traveling their own country, even though we have this situation that's happening in KZN.
We heard reports that the tourism minister has been briefed by KwaZulu-Natal authorities that about 16% of tourists have cancelled already. Do you have any idea of the figures of people expected to cancel versus those expected to still come into the province?
Well, I spoke to, various hotel groups this afternoon in terms of, trying to get the feel of what's going on the ground. We do know that, the uptick that we're expecting, this week did not happen. There are various places that are sitting on 50% occupancy. They were expecting 90%. There are places that, are now assessing how to deal with the situation in terms of, the potential water shortages, in terms of how do we, make sure that our guests have the full experience, or at least an experience that involves responsible use of water. So we're dealing with that. So there are cancellations that have happened. There may be people that may not show up, especially tomorrow or this evening, because of the situation in KZN. But what we are encouraging people to do is to say, call your hotel, call the experiences that you want to do, and places that you are going to be staying, your bed and breakfast, your backpackers, or many other places that we used for accommodation. Call them, find out if you can be able to access it. What is it that you can do in the area? We need to support KZN. We need to do so, with a conscience of saying, we need the province to recover. We need to see Durban recovering, and we need to make sure that that recovery supports job creation or the return to work that we've seen in that particular, area. We do know that domestic travelers do go to Durban. It's easier to drive. They get there. They're able to go to the beach and do so many things. And we do hope that people do travel, do support the industry. But we're cognizant of the fact that many people may have booked, for other long weekends that are yet to come. But we encourage people to continue to support the industry. We do know that there are challenges, and we hope that government addresses those challenges, especially the water challenge. We hope that it's addressed immediately to make sure that, people who are traveling are able to have some level of normal weekend or Easter weekend in that particular part of our country.
Yeah, unfortunately, no guarantee on that. I think the Premier was saying 1.2 billion rand could come in terms of tourism. My final question is, how important is this Easter weekend on the KwaZulu-Natal sort of tourist calendar, as it were? And those hospital groups must be so sad, because we know there's been COVID, then for KwaZulu-Natal specifically also the July unrest. How fragile is the industry going into this weekend, or was there recovery that was progressing well, but now we have this?
No, this was a weekend that we, wanted to see. It had a huge potential for us as a tourism industry. We're expecting, a number of people traveling into the area. We're expecting that, we will start to talk about, our employees receiving full salaries and many more properties being opened and having a positive impact in the tourism industry. Unfortunately, because of this, natural disaster, we cannot say the same. It's going to take a little bit longer to get to that point. But, this weekend was supposed to be a bumper weekend for us. We were anticipating at least a 90% occupancy rate along, the Durban area or the eThekwini area and many other parts of, the KZN area. So it is devastating. We do understand the situation. It's an act of God, as everyone calls it. And we do hope that as time goes, we do repair, the issues around water, issues around electricity, issues around roads. We create a situation whereby people can access various areas for tourism purposes to impact those communities. So we will be working with everyone. We're already working with many insurance companies. And of course, I'm sure government will come knocking at our door in terms of accommodating certain individuals that may not have places to stay. We remain open. We are part of South Africa. We've always been part of South Africa. And our job is to make sure that we are part of the solution in terms of how do we make sure that KZN stands up and it becomes, that tourist destination that all of us want it to be, and it impacts the economy of the area and creation of jobs.
All right, thank you for your time. Tshivhengwa, Chief Executive Officer of the Tourism Business Council of South Africa.